Hello and welcome to Coffee with the Angels. I'm Katie Kiefer of Awaken the Inner Light and Coffee with the Angels. So I know it's been a while since I've done a video. It's been several months, and that is because all of these have been compiled into a book. And we're actually, the first book is due out soon. We do not have a release date yet. It is in proofreading now, and it's really very, very cool. And I'm looking forward to being able to tell you the release date. I'm trusting divine order with this. I know it's a little different than the way things seem to usually be, but I'm trusting divine order and just taking each step as I'm shown. And if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know that that's kind of how it's been, at least for this year. It's just taking the next step as it's shown and as the way reveals itself. So I don't know what this is going to look like, and I'll share with you as best I can when I do. So the writings have continued, and our video today is today's writing. And so a lot of them have been quite long. For the second book, we've actually the laws have come in, the laws of the universe. It's been really, really cool, and I'm so excited to see where this goes. So today, one of the big things is, like, I sat down to write, and there's just so much going through, and I'm like, do I talk about this? Do I ask about this? What are we doing? And so I just asked him, what are we talking about today? There is so much going on, both individually and collectively. It feels a bit unsettling. And with all the things we have had going on in the world, even if you try, it's like trying to avoid what's going on, or you just can't. And I don't advocate for completely avoiding it. I do advocate for being detached from it and being aware of what's going on without getting caught up in it. And that seems to be very much what they talk about today. So the angels say, timeline shifts are speeding up. This is part of the evolution. Denser, heavier thought forms and energies are breaking down. People are tired of fighting, tired of being misled, tired of being angry. This is one of the shifts you've been waiting for. Humanity is shifting out of such harsh duality, and those who want to stay in harsh duality will be on a different timeline. Yes, on Earth there are many timelines happening simultaneously, and the veils are so thin that you easily see inside the other timelines. It seems as though they are real yet surreal at the same time. Know that similar energies are grouping together. Keep yourself in alignment with your soul and creator. Do not, we repeat, do not get caught up in the denser energies. Should you find yourself in a denser energy and or misaligned, bring yourself back quickly. Do not argue with others. Do not gossip, even about the politicians. Speak of your values and what you cherish. Align with and practice your values. Speaking them is not enough. You must put your values into action. Pay attention to heightened emotion, for that indicates there is inner work yet to be done. Of course, it is fine to have the heightened emotion. Where the problems arise is when that is the place actions come from. As you practice your values and do so from a space of balance, you help the collective to also be more balanced. Start within. So that's what the angels have had to say. And I'm going to offer a little bit of clarity and some examples as well, because it's really been very, very charged in the media, in the masses. And these are changes that genuinely need to take place. And we all know that. What's happening is that we are witnessing a lot of charged emotions. And so there's just inner work to be done there, and that's fine. So the inner work is both collective and individual. So as you do your own individual work, you also influence the collective energy, the collective unconscious. So doing your own inner work first, is the most important thing. So doing that then influences the collective. How cool is that? That means we don't need to go out and be like browbeating people to do something different. Because when we do our own inner work, our own experiences change, how we view the world changes, and the actions that we take actually become more aligned with our values. So for instance, they talk about, do not argue with others and do not gossip. That doesn't mean that you don't talk about issues. By all means, feel free to talk about the issues. But when you're very charged, notice that that is just something within that is asking for healing, that is asking for release, that is asking for whatever. And sometimes it is expression. So getting that discernment is really helpful, because when you do, then you can be in alignment with your values. So for instance, if equality is a value that you have, which is a value most people would actually profess to have, the question is then, do your actions align with that? So when your actions and how you speak align with equality, meaning that yes, we want things to be different. We want the divine feminine to rise and be powerful. But if you're doing that at the expense of the divine masculine, that's not equality. And so it's these kinds of things that we just need to pay attention for. And if you find yourself out of balance, you're like, oh, I can see in hindsight that that behavior was not really aligned with my values, you just move forward and do better next time. You forgive yourself, you forgive others. That is important. We're not going to do it perfectly. I have yet to meet anybody who does, and I certainly don't do it perfectly. There's a lot of things I've found in hindsight. So it's okay. We're on a journey. We're evolving as humans. We are evolving into higher vibrations. And not everybody wants to do that. Though I would think if you're here watching this, you probably do want to do that. You might not know how. You just know that you have this desire or this drive to be in higher vibrations where there is more love and there is more kindness and there is more equality. And so another thing to pay attention for is if kindness is a value that you hold, paying attention to your words. It matters. What you speak, is it really kind? And sometimes, is it as kind as you could possibly be? Sometimes the kind thing is to not say anything, go deal with your stuff, and then you can come back and you can address whatever needs to be addressed or speak what needs to be spoken with at least more kindness. And so this is how we put our values into action. We're not just speaking them. There's a level of self-awareness that is really required to bring your values into action. And so when you align with your soul and you align with Creator and you get Creator's highest truth, you listen to your divine team, you talk to your divine team. When you do that, it helps a lot. You're probably not going to do it perfectly, and you don't have to. None of us have to. It is important that we make progress. Progress over perfection any day. So if you recognize that there's been something in hindsight, forgive yourself. And make amends if needed. It's okay. We are all on this journey. The biggest thing about today's message from the angels is that we are shifting out of duality, or such a harsh duality. We have accelerated from where it's black and white and there's nothing between. We are actually coming further in. So yes, there is duality and polarity, but it's much more gentle, meaning the both and consciousness can actually become more tangible. It can become more recognizable. And this is where we can really allow our values to shine. And so what are your values? Do you even know? You know, it's been months ago or even last year when I was looking at Brene Brown's work, and which I've started to come back into since she has a new book out. Um, practicing your values rather than simply professing them. And she talks about that in, I believe it is the Anatomy of Trust video. And if you go to BreneBrown.com, you can find her videos there. Or last I looked, they were there. And it's great. And so that concept of practicing your values is really important. But to practice them, you kind of need to know what they are so that we can come into alignment. If we don't know what our values are, how can we practice them? And so that's just an important thing. And that's going to be different for each individual. And you can have many. If you practice your 2 or 3 most dominant values, when everything else, when your other values are also in alignment with those, it just naturally will grow. So trust that. Trust your divine team. Trust your connection with the all that is. Ask for guidance when you need it. It's there. Your team is ready and willing and able to help you. Open the door, tune in, and tune in more frequently. And listen. And if they're telling you something and you've got this resistance to it, and it's like, okay, what is the resistance? Where is that? How do I move through it? How do I release it? They will show you the way. So I hope that this has been beneficial for you. There's just been really the duality and arguing and the things that are going on in the world are really have been quite intense. And so to be aware of what's going on is important. Being caught up in it can cause problems. And so if you're finding yourself caught up in it, disengage. DNE, one of my favorite things, do not engage, DNE. There are certain things where even though you have a voice and you have an opinion, sometimes it's better to just be, okay, I see that you're there, and yes, this is how I feel about it. If you're going to engage, I recommend that you pay attention for your own inner work so that you can show up as the greatest version of yourself in any and all conversations. And yeah, it can be challenging sometimes. And if you've been following me on any social media, namely Facebook, because I'm really not on, I have accounts on the others, but I don't really use them much. You'll see that my interaction has been pretty minimal. And that's because I don't want to argue with people. I don't want to talk to people who can't hear me. And that's just part of me practicing my values, meaning my value of being effective. Effective. When I say that, it sounded weird. But yeah, being effective is something that is important to me. Being kind is very important to me. And being just and being in that higher vibration. So if you end up in something and you feel your vibrations start to sink, just disengage. It's okay. You feel your vibrations sinking, you feel yourself getting angry. There's certain things here that just indicate that you have your own work to do. And the more we do our own work, the more we affect the collective as well. And that is really helpful because, the collective energy of the conscious or the mass consciousness or mass unconsciousness, however you term it, it is not a one-way street. It's not just coming into you. You are feeding it. And so what do you want to do with that? What do you want to contribute? When you practice your values and you know what they are, then you know what you're contributing. You have a better consciousness of what you're contributing. Yes, there's still unconscious things going on too, but you can also really be more aware of that. And the more you can feed that, and the more you can fuel it, and the more aligned you are within yourself and your values, and the more you practice that, the better your influence is in raising the vibration of not just yourself, but others as well. And so, again, I hope you found this helpful. Feel free to drop a comment if you have questions or want to make a comment. And feel free to check out Coffee with the Angels, that coffeewiththeangels.com. The website is just one page, a couple of links. It will take you back over to my Awaken the Inner Light page. We are just in the process of getting this done, and it's been very slow, and that's been okay. I'm trusting in divine order, and I hope that you trust divine order for yourself as well. So that's it for today. Take care, and I hope you're doing well. Thank you. Bye.